Welcome to this episode of The Good, The Bad and The Kaiju. Your host Mark and Sam. Now, this our 39th Kaiju movie. We're going to be examining 2002's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
Do you want to take the lead on this one?
Okay. So the film kind of starts with like a recapping. It's basically explaining that, again, none of the other Godzilla films have taken place aside from the original Godzilla.
Yeah. A distinct film, yeah.
Yeah. But they do, the whole premise is that Godzilla might be coming back, so they want an anti-Godzilla weapon to fight him with, really, because they've shown that none of their no conventional weapons can hurt a kaiju, except really the maser cannons.
Yeah, again, this must be about the 6th time we've seen these things.
Yeah, they do regularly get wheeled out because they're big and goofy looking, and they're probably easy to make models of.
Yeah. And
you can kind of sort of brush off the old models because they all look pretty much the same. But the maser cannons originate from War of the Gargantuas, which in the film is stated to have happened.
Okay, so that's part of the continuity.
Yeah, that and Mothra, the original Mothra film, are supposed to have happened.
Yeah.
But that's it for other monster films. But it opens with like with a woman driving a maser tank.
Yes.
And fighting Godzilla with
She's a soldier, isn't she?
Yeah, they're like soldiers.
Yeah.
So she's part of a convoy with a maser, driving the maser tank, and she gets distracted somehow when fighting Godzilla, and misses, and that leads to the death of every single other member of the convoy.
Yeah, she's kind of a bit traumatized.
Yeah, and she's kind of made a scapegoat because of this.
It's this one. Sorry, you're still talking through the plot, aren't you?
No, I could stop for a bit.
I like the fact that I really like the Mechagodzilla in this.
Oh yeah, this Mechagodzilla looks properly like a robotic Godzilla, which I guess in a way it was more than the previous ones.
It's almost like an android Godzilla. Well,
yeah, it is an android Godzilla.
What am I trying to say? A symbiote Godzilla, because it's made from his bones.
It's built around the bones of the original Godzilla.
It's kind of cool. It's quite different from the other Mechagodzillas.
It's much more agile, and
it
actually gets into like fist fights rather than shooting Godzilla from range.
And they don't particularly call it Mechagodzilla; they call it Kaiju.
Yeah, Kaiju.
So it's a different beast. It looks really good.
Yeah, it does look very cool.
I like the Godzilla design in this. It wasn't the previous film's design. It was
it was like a weird sort of bulking up of the original Millennium suit. It was a bit sort of buff.
It looked good.
Yeah.
In fact, the whole film looked pretty good. The CGI wasn't really ropey as it has been. It just looked better. They sort
of like made sparing use of CG,
and it worked better. Worked way better. It worked way better. And the other thing is we didn't have ages to wait before everything kicked off. The action and the drama kind of interwove. There was more action and a lot less drama, so it was way less. Some of the other ones could be quite boring. And take a good while to get started. And usually you're watching it for the last act. Whereas this, the action was throughout, not just the last act. So it was a kind of a real... I thought this was one of the best ones in the Millennium series, actually.
Yeah, I'd say it's best we've seen since the Heisei series.
Yeah, I like the first one of the Millennium. That was... I think I do. Anyway.
Mainly because that came down to a big old scrap at the end, and there was less sort of dancing around whatever they were doing.
Yeah. This was a lot of fun. There was a few... I'm trying to think. There's a few odd moments. I'm getting it confused, I think, with the film before, though, maybe. I did like the fighting in this. The general... and, I mean, the effect when Godzilla was bombarded with, say, rockets was really, really looked good. Really did
because they do, like, make heavy use of pyrotechnics in this, so he does. Yeah. There is a lot of Godzilla exploding, and because he's fighting Mechagodzilla, there's going to be a lot of explosions. Right. So
it was. What was I going to say? Apparently this is the 26th Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any new monsters in quite a while now, have we?
No.
I guess
this would be kind of the newest.
Yes, because it is slightly different from the other Mechagodzillas.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to...
Really, every Mechagodzilla's been its own thing. The first one was like a weird, like...
That was the 70s
artillery piece.
Yeah.
The other one was a tank, and this is more like a jet, really. Stylistically, as well. But because this one's like much more agile than the others, and it's like all of its heavy weaponry, it can just sort of drop, so it can go into a fist fight with Godzilla.
Yeah,
this is also the only Godzilla that can go toe to toe, Mechagodzilla that can go toe to toe with its respective Godzilla.
Indeed. And there's a funny story, funny element of this, quite an interesting element where this cyborg Godzilla seems to retain some sort of memory.
Yeah, because
even though it was only the bones.
Yeah, they try to explain it as to keep Kiryu running, it needs an AI to run a lot of the stuff in the background, and this AI is based off a DNA computer.
That's Godzilla's.
The DNA is taken from the Godzilla bones.
These people need to stop making things out of Godzilla. They should know better. Another thing about this one that I liked was these Millennium ones have been quite long. They've been an hour and 45 minutes, which I felt was over long. This one was a good, solid 90 minutes, in and out.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely benefited from that. It was a way cleaner and it just felt more fun. Me. I just liked it all round, actually.
Yeah, it was fairly, it didn't mess about. They did there was a lot of Kiryu fighting Godzilla. It's just that there were, to keep the story going, there were faults that we previously mentioned in Kiryu, that if I think it was he heard Godzilla's roar.
Yeah.
He just went ballistic. Just started shooting all those missiles in random directions. It was great. And Godzilla ran off.
Yeah, that was unusual for Godzilla. Why? I wonder why, but whatever. There's a few sort of factoids I was just having a look on Wikipedia here. It says it was called Kiryu, which means machine dragon. Kiryu.
Kiryu.
It says he's referred to Kiryu throughout this film and the next. So this must appear in the next film.
Yeah, Tokyo SOS is a direct sequel.
Okay, cool. And apparently there was, I didn't notice it, there was a cameo by a baseball star called Hideki Matsui.
I think he's nicknamed Godzilla.
Yeah, and his nickname's Godzilla, so that's kind of cool. But I don't know who that was at all in the film. No idea.
No, wait, there was that weird bit where a guy was he was coaching a load of kids.
Oh, yes.
And they wouldn't leave until they'd pitch, so they pitched and he just whacked it into orbit.
Yeah, I remember.
And then they carried on.
Yes, yeah, that must have been him.
Yeah.
Now on IMDb, this has got a pretty good solid rating, 6.8.
As it should.
Bad. Not a bad film all round. 2002. We're getting near the end of the Millennium series now. So this one's the only one with a direct sequel in this series.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. It is interesting how they keep harking back to 1954, isn't it?
Yeah.
Throughout these, it's kind of evoking the spirit of that film, one way or another. And they keep doing it in slightly different ways. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't really got much more to say about it, other than I really quite enjoyed it. I thought it was rather good.
Yeah. It was very fun. Especially the climax where they use this gigantic freeze weapon that's built into Kiryu's chest.
Yeah.
They freeze a huge section of Tokyo Bay.
And Godzilla.
Yeah, and Godzilla and Kiryu.
Right,
all in one.
Yes.
So there's a kind of tense moment where they just everyone stood there watching this huge iceberg, waiting to see who comes out first.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Again, good use of CG. I like the Godzilla. I think one of the other good things about this film is the fight choreography was pretty solid.
Yeah, because they had because this Kaiju is built around a Godzilla. He's more like hand to hand, and he fights like a Godzilla.
Yes.
So it's all punches and tail swings.
Yeah, you did feel that they were equally matched. Sometimes with Godzilla, it's really, they guys are once Godzilla really gets going, they're going to be decimated. And but you didn't quite.
But it did come down to it where Godzilla kind of had to just run away with his tail between his legs.
Yeah. On the other hand, we did see Mechagodzilla getting his arm ripped off and all.
Yeah, he got his arm ripped off. He had to detach all of his ranged weaponry.
Yes,
at one point
to get mobile, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think he'd expended it as well. I wasn't quite sure. Well,
Godzilla shot the barrels off of both the shoulder weaponry.
Yeah.
But sorry, that sounded stupid. But he just sort of dropped the laser whips and saws that he had on his wrists, and then got into a proper scrap.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I
did like how it opened up with Kaiju shoulder checking Godzilla.
Yes, it takes a lot to shoulder check Godzilla, doesn't it? It's kind of cool. Godzilla's. He went back to his kind of normal breath again, didn't he?
Now it's blue again instead of red.
Yeah. I just enjoyed this one. What would you give this one out of 10?
I'd give this an 8.
Yeah, I give it an 8 too. I agree with you completely. I think.
Yeah.
But this is the most enjoyable of the Millennium series. Which of the series so far do you prefer?
I think this may be my favourite Godzilla film, but I do prefer Heisei series overall.
Yeah, I prefer the Heisei. I really dug some of the Heisei ones, Biollante and some of the Ghidorah ones. But yeah, this was a good solid one. I really enjoyed it. So next time we'll be doing Tokyo SOS, the sequel to this, which is kind of cool. And we're getting near the end of Millennium, so it's kind of slowly getting towards the end of our Kaiju set. So next time it'll be number 40 in our set, which is a fair few.
Yeah.
All right then. Bye from me.
Bye.